Imagine this. In the middle of nowhere, where the sun is the ultimate boss, we have this young lion, Aslan. He's got this crazy mission he's got to pull off. He's brave, no doubt, but let's be real. He's also scared out of his fur. The desert is super harsh, unforgiving, and Aslan's tiny paws leave these little footprints in the sand that get blown away by the wind. Talk about tough times. Aslan looks around with wide, worried eyes. The heat makes the air shimmer like water, and the desert looks like a strange and scary place. He's thirsty and his body is begging for water. He feels the pain of thirst all the time, and it reminds him how mean the desert is. Aslan walks past the bones of dead animals, with their fur still on them. It's a grim sight, and it makes Aslan think about how hard it is to live in the desert. Every step Aslan takes is a step toward hope, but it's also a step closer to the harsh reality of the desert. But Aslan doesn't give up. He keeps going because he's determined to survive. Just when Aslan thinks the heat and thirst are too much for him, he sees something that gives him hope. In the middle of the desert is a small waterhole. It's like a tiny oasis in a sea of sand. Aslan's heart jumps for joy, and he runs to the waterhole. The waterhole is a sign of life in the desert, and it's going to quench Aslan's thirst and make his throat feel better. But then, out of nowhere, a bear comes out of the shadows. The sight of the bear makes Aslan lose hope as quickly as he gained it. The waterhole, which was once a symbol of relief, is now a battlefield. It's a life or death situation for Aslan. So there it was in the dark. A bear, not mean-looking or anything, but just as desperate for a drink of water as anyone else. While the sun was blazing down hot, a new character shows up in our story. This big, clumsy bear walks into the oasis and sniffs around, acting like it's really thirsty. Now, this bear isn't a bad guy. It's just another animal that's dried out from the scorching sun. The bear's eyes are round and full of longing, just like our young lion, Aslan. Now, when the bear and Aslan lock eyes, they both know they're both in the same boat. The bear might be huge, but it's not acting scary at all. In fact, it's kind of clumsy, kicking up sand with its big paws as it strolls toward the waterhole. But Aslan, our brave little lion, isn't going to back down. He's determined to defend what he's found in this harsh place. It's a tense moment, like a showdown between two unlikely rivals. The bear is a lot bigger, and it could easily beat up Aslan. But they both seem to get that they're both victims of the cruel desert. Their standoff isn't angry or aggressive. Instead, it's like a clumsy, weird dance. As the bear gets closer, Aslan stands his ground. His eyes are wide and worried, but he keeps staring at the bear. He lets out a little roar, showing how brave he is for such a young lion. The bear responds by swinging its paw in a clumsy way, not as a threat, but as a warning. They circle each other, neither of them willing to give up their spot, and both of them determined to get a drink of water. But just when you think the tension is at its highest, the desert decides to throw another curveball. Out of nowhere, a group of hyenas appears, their eyes shining with mischief. They're a dark, creepy mass that's ready to attack. Aslan and the bear, who are still facing off, freeze. Their wide eyes and shocked expressions mirror each other's surprise. So there's this wild desert, right? And it's usually pretty lonely, but not today. Because guess who's about to share the stage? A lion cub named Aslan and a bear. Can you believe it? The air gets creepy all of a sudden, and a bunch of hyenas show up, laughing like crazy. It's like they're in a horror movie or something. Aslan and the bear, who you wouldn't normally catch hanging out together, are both like, uh-oh. They're both scared, but they also get that they're in this together. Aslan, the brave little lion, has big, worried eyes, and he realizes that he and the bear have something in common. They're both scared of the hyenas. And the bear, who's kind of clumsy but also super strong, feels the same way. They both know that the hyenas are bad news, and they're not taking any chances. You know how when you're scared, you and your friends start to feel like you're on the same team? Well, that's what happens here. The hyenas become the enemy, and Aslan and the bear are like, "We got this!" They're not fighting over food or territory anymore. Nope, they're allies, at least for now. In this crazy situation, they form a new bond, even though it's because they're both scared. It's like, Wow, who would have thought a lion and a bear could be friends? But there they are, standing together, their eyes reflecting the sunset in the desert. Their fear brought them together, and now they're not just enemies. They're allies. Their look says it all. The bear's strength and Aslan's bravery are going to be a tough match for those hyenas. Who knew that fear, which is usually seen as a bad thing, could actually unite and empower people? But here, in the middle of the desert, that's exactly what's happening. It's bringing these two together, giving them courage and strength, and it's reminding Aslan, the bear, and all of us that even when things are tough, we're stronger when we work together. United, Aslan and the bear brace themselves, ready to defend their chance at survival. In the heart of the desert, a showdown is about to unfold. A young lion cub named Aslan and a bear, both hungry, both thirsty, stand side by side. Not as foes, but as unexpected allies. Their common enemy? A pack of menacing hyenas, their laughter echoing in the eerie silence. As the hyenas inch closer, Aslan and the bear hold their ground. Their wide eyes, full of determination, mirror each other. A silent pact forms between them, a pact of courage and unity. They're in this together. The battle for survival begins. Aslan leaps into action, his small but determined figure darting between the hyenas. His swift movements, a testament to his courage. Meanwhile, the bear, though clumsy, is a formidable force. His strength, undeniable, as he swats away the hyenas with powerful paws. They may be different, but their bravery is the same. The desert turns into a battleground, the air filled with tension. Yet, amidst the chaos, a unique rhythm forms. Aslan and the bear move in sync, their actions complementing each other. They're a team, their unity shining brighter than the harsh desert sun. Their combined efforts start to turn the tide. One by one, the hyenas retreat, their laughter replaced by defeated whimpers. A sense of relief washes over Aslan and the bear. They've done it. They've defended their chance at survival. After the big fight, Aslan and the bear chilled, sharing some water. It was like, "We did it, dude." Aslan and the bear were totally besties now. They used to be enemies, but they found out that working together was way cooler. The desert, which was once a real pain, didn't seem so bad anymore. All those animal skeletons, which used to be a bummer, were like, "Check out how strong we are! We made it!" Aslan, this young lion cub, had come a long way. He realized that the desert wasn't his enemy, even though it was tough. His real enemy was being scared. He used to be scared of the bear, but that made him brave enough to fight the hyenas. The bear was big and strong, but it was also just trying to survive. It had its own fears and stuff. It wasn't a bad guy, just another desert creature trying to make it. When they beat the hyenas, it wasn't just about winning, it was about not being scared anymore. They taught each other that being together and being brave are what help you survive in the desert. So when they drank from that water hole, they weren't just getting hydrated. They were also getting rid of their fear and getting all brave and stuff. The desert, which used to be scary, was now a place where they learned and grew. As the sun went down, Aslan and the bear rested. Their journey showed that when things are tough, being together is the best way to get through it. Their story is a lesson for everyone in the desert. Togetherness is power, and being brave is how you survive.